Buckeye fans, welcome into another episode of the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast. Anthony Moeglin hanging out with you today alongside my partner, Kevin Woidke, and gave you guys a little bit of a break. We didn't go live yesterday, so you could watch the Taylor Swift New Heights podcast there, as it kind of encapsulated the entire internet world. So we decided to hold off to join you guys today. So as a quick reminder, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you do. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting that like button on our video content. Really helps us out so that we can bring you content just like this. But as we get into the season, we can make sure that we're on site and giving you guys exactly what you want as you make us a stop on your Buckeye content whip around, if you will. So, Kevin, it's getting close, man. There was a couple clips today kind of surfacing from Kansas State and from Iowa State, who are going to be the first game of the college football season, that week 0 game. And the buses were leaving their respective schools and starting to hit the road to get this season kicked off. And it's damn near right on our fingertips now.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, Brendan is still coming down from the Taylor Swift high that he experienced yesterday, so we don't have him on the show again today. I have to start having conversations with him, even though I'm pretty sure he's my boss. But no, it'll be fun. I mean, that'll be probably the most watched game of Kansas State and Iowa State's year. But it's not like last year when we had a terrible Florida State team versus Boston College. These are two teams that are very promising. They have good quarterbacks. Kansas State has a great running back. I don't know a whole lot about Iowa State. I'll hand up. I'll be honest with you. Kansas State also has some returning linebackers. Mm-hmm. Those will be good, but it should be a fun matchup. That's for sure. I know I'll be watching it intently.
Dude, it is. It's that start of the year. I know I watched that. I watched the video of the bus leaving Kansas State a handful of times, just thinking like, "Holy cow!" It's we're getting to the edge of August. Someone said yesterday that there's only a month left in the MLB baseball season, which always is shocking when you get to the end of August here and they start talking playoffs, and you're like, "Holy cow!" They've already played 100, 130 games or whatever it may be, and it's time. It's time to really start dialing in on the football season. And we're 10 days away from that first kickoff there. We're 17 days away from the kickoff of the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Texas Longhorns. And Kev, before we do a quick little spin around on what happened in Columbus these past couple days, wanted to get your take on something. I should have prepped you with it before we started the show here, but it was announced today that the Kansas Jayhawks received the largest gift ever given to an athletic program, $300 million gift from a donor, likely I haven't researched it at all, so likely a former Jayhawk. Holy cow, dude. I don't even know what to make of that. That is unbelievable that somebody's given $300 million of their own dollars to flip their football program around, and apparently do so damn near overnight.
Yeah, it's from David Booth. He funded global investment firm that manages $853 billion in assets.
Oh,
that sounds like someone that can afford $300.
So he only gave $300 million?
It's all encompassing. It also includes a $75 million challenge to other donors that launches the next phase of progress into their gateway district. And then, shockingly enough, the stadium's named after him. But no, that's incredible. Excuse me. For them, that's great. I just wonder how they're going to allocate that, because their cash cow is basketball. Yeah. But with that kind of money, you're probably set for basketball, football, snail racing. I don't know.
Archery.
Yeah, exactly.
Rifle shooting. Yeah, I mean that's
dancing. Yeah, no, it'll be perfect.
It's unbelievable. It is actually insane. And again, I haven't done the proper research, so I don't want to speak. Too much in depth. But allegedly a net worth of $2 billion. you can do all right with that, and has been given to Kansas for over 20 years now. At a number of different points, gave $9 million in 2004, gave $50 million in 2017, and allegedly gave a $300 million gift to the University of Chicago's Graduate School of Business. So this guy is just got more money than God, apparently, and he's aiming to flip the Kansas football program around and make the Kansas basketball program back to where it should be. And I saw a funny tweet that it was a picture of it had to have been at like one of the like video game photo shoots. It was like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, and somebody else, and it was like the Kansas receivers next year. And it's like, well, in this day and age, screw it, man. Like, who the hell knows? But all right, turning this thing back. I know this isn't Kansas Jayhawks on SI, and maybe one day we'll get our hands in there. But back to Columbus, Ohio. Some little bit of news coming out of the Woody Hayes Athletic Center over the past couple of days. Two guys we talked about on our show earlier in the week: Bo Atkinson and Philip Daniels. Daniels, the aspiring right tackle, the transfer from Minnesota, and Bo Atkinson, the transfer from North Carolina. Both had their black stripes removed, and got to be recognized by the team and are officially Buckeyes. And pretty big day for those two guys, especially two guys that are likely going to be making a fairly large impact week in and week out for Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, especially for two guys that are transferring in, they definitely view it as, being welcomed in on the early side into the Buckeyes. And I don't know how many years Bo has left. I know Phillips has a few, so it is nice for them to be like, all right, now I'm officially a Buckeye. I'm ready to hit the ground running, and that's the last thing I got to worry about, because it does eat you a little bit when you're looking at that black stripe all season. Like, is this ever going to come off? When's this going to come off? It's just in the back of your head.
Yeah, no, it's really a huge thing, and like you said, Phillips has got 3 years of eligibility left. So, like, when you're talking about him versus Ethan Oniawa taking over that right tackle spot, you're looking at a guy Oniawa, who's got only 1 year left, where Daniels has 3 years left of eligibility there. So you'll see how that kind of factors into it. Regardless, we showed a picture of the linebackers last week. There's a group picture of the offensive line, and it's no shocker that these guys are just massive man-eaters, but, like, these dudes, man, this has to get everybody fired up. This offensive line, if it comes together like everyone's kind of thinking it's going to, Kev, like, this could be a real strength of this Ohio State team.
Oh, yeah. No, I said it on Tuesday's show. I'll reiterate it again. Some coaches that I trust very much in their evaluating have said this is one of the deepest and best offensive lines we've ever had. So they're like, we could honestly play and feel comfortable playing 10 whole guys, which is crazy to think about. But that's the reality of where we're at now. I love that. I love that we can do that. I love that we have set up our team, because you build from the inside out. You do. I mean, looking at NFL teams even, look at the Bears. Look at the Bengals. Let's just go close to home. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they got Jamar Chase, who probably without them they don't make it to the Super Bowl. But now you're looking at, like, hey, we've had other people catch up to Jamar, but we still can't figure out how to protect Joe Burrow. And that's just the reality of the situation. Yeah. So it's like, hey, it's time to – the Ohio State, Alabamas of the world, they never fail to learn this, where it's like, hey, you need to bolster the offensive line every year first. And as long as, no matter who the quarterback is back there, if you give him time, he'll find the right spot.
There's no doubt about it. And I think the most important thing is what you hit on, is that this group not only built for this year. This isn't a group that's built a couple transfers in and out, and we're kind of just rebuilding, fix. This is a group that's built on this is a foundation that's been put together, that's been laid, that's going to be making impacts for the next couple years. And that's the real exciting part for this Ohio State offensive line, and one that is going to continue to get better. The opening form that you see them in just in 2 short weeks is going to be like their worst form. We don't know how it's going to look. I assume it's going to look pretty good, but they're going to continue to get better and better and better and better as the year goes on. And we saw that proven out last year, and there's no reason to think that it wouldn't be the same this year coming in. So some big news from the Buckeyes with those 2 guys. Bo Atkinson, the same, the transfer from North Carolina, one of the most exciting transfers that Ohio State's had in a long time. And he's a guy that's looking to make a 3-down impact, rushing the quarterback off the edge for the Buckeyes. So some big news there, but a relatively quiet week as things start to kind of cool down. You really got, Kev, like 1 week left of camp, right? I was kind of thinking, I was writing a story last night over on our website, which I just realized is not going all along on the ticker there. You can go check out all of our written content over at si.com/college/Ohio State. But just kind of like looking at the schedule here, right? Once you get to that week before the Texas game, it's obviously going to be game week. School's going to be starting up here quickly. The actual camp grind is coming to a close. Probably only a handful of practices left that are like going to be that camp style feel before this team really starts focusing in on the Texas Longhorns, because Brian Day's even said it a couple times. They haven't really started on Texas yet, but this team is chomping at the bit to get to that Texas prep.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's still offense versus defense. It probably will be for the rest of the week,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll get into Texas prep. That transfer that kind of snuck in under the gun, not really a big deal. Caleb Downs last year, he made a good point where at practice on Monday where he's like, hey, we got to get better every day. There's no complacency here. We got to make sure that every day we work to get better than the day before. That's the only way you improve. That's a great point from a young guy who, this will be his last year in college football.
Yeah,
he'll be an unbelievable pro. I mean, he already basically is a pro. It shows the level of leadership and the level of maturity he has as a player.
Yeah, and that's the type of guy you want leading your defense. When he's leading it from the third level, then you got a similar character guy in Sonny Styles leading it from the second level. That'll pull you along, especially when you're replacing 8 starters like they're going to be on the defensive side of the football. It's guys like that who will really push things forward. So definitely feel good about where these guys are at, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to just be like, I don't want to keep hitting my teammates. I've just played against these guys all camp long. It's time for a different colored jersey, and they're so close to facing off against the burnt orange and the Texas Longhorns here on August the 30th. So moving along here, we're going to leave the city of Columbus, get outside of Buckeye land, but kind of whip it around the NFL. There's been a number of clips. If you're on social media, if you spend as much time on social that I do, I'm sure you've seen them. Donovan Jackson getting out on a screen and making like video game style blocks for the Minnesota Vikings in their joint practice against the New England Patriots. We all saw Travion Henderson's 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He had another big play today in practice. Some of the veterans, Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, those guys in New York making a big impact, and stories coming out of Arizona that Cody Simon has the green dot on his helmet as a rookie. It's just this group of guys, especially that came from last year's team. Josh Simmons, even Kevin, was Patrick Mahomes said he's got a chance to be one of the great tackles in the NFL. The stories coming out about this group from last year are not surprising at all, but it's really cool to see the impact that these guys are making early on in their NFL careers to this point.
Yeah, I mean that's what Ohio State builds. That's what Ohio State does. That's what Ohio State builds you to do. You see it all over the place. Even guys that aren't even playing or aren't even practicing now, like Will Howard. I mean, sadly, everyone in Pittsburgh, for me as a Browns fan, was losing their mind over Jack Sawyer's just was made in I think I saw a quote, Jackson was made in a TJ Watt factory. Like it's just
they look the same, dude.
they do, and they play similar styles. Like then you got JTT who had a sack in his preseason game
and a forced fumble too.
And for the Colts, like, and then go like way older. Like you got. I think I don't know who the oldest Buckeye is currently in the league. Is it Terry McLaurin?
Terry, well, he's got some big storylines, but even before, as you kind of looking that up, like Emeka Egbuka down in Tampa, like Baker Mayfield can't stop talking about the impact that Egbuka's made to this point. And like, if you want to go crazy old, right before, last night, Malcolm Jenkins got inducted into the Eagles Eagles Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, whatever they call it. So it like ranges, man, from like these fresh rookies to the guys that were playing, 10, 15 years ago for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the oldest, I misspoke. The oldest one that's currently still active, but he isn't playing yet, is Cam Hayward.
Cam Hayward.
Yeah. Like Cam Hayward, I think, is the oldest. Tyquan Lewis is up there. Terry McLaurin is up there. And it's a lot of young guys, too. Joey Bosa might be the third oldest Ohio State player in the NFL.
Wow.
Like, and we had some people that have been there for a long time. Thinking about Malcolm Jenkins, thinking about Corey Cole, or is it Corey? No, not Corey Coleman. Who was a safety for the Panthers forever? I'm going to space on his name. I'll figure it out. But
I know what you're talking about. Oh man.
Yeah. Either way, it's impressive. That's what Ohio State does. It's similar to a Notre Dame, a USC, a Florida, where they produce NFL talent and they produce people that play well in the NFL when their number is called.
It's amazing. You talk about Cam Hayward, and at this point, in his career, he's 36 years old. He is kind of doing a holdout situation in Pittsburgh, rightfully so. He basically, at the end of last year, at the beginning of last year, when he signed his contract extension, he gave an ultimatum to the Steelers and was pretty much like, hey, if I'm an all-pro, I'm going to renegotiate. And what did he do? And as a 35-year-old, he was named an all-pro defensive tackle, which changed the record. He's been incredible for the Pittsburgh Steelers and is he is a Hall of Fame level player in Pittsburgh. And so he's doing a little holdout. But, I mean, he graduated Ohio State in 2007. That is absolute. 2011 is when he was drafted to the Steelers. So that 2010 season was his final year at Ohio State. He joined the Buckeyes in 2007. But regardless, he's in college 15 years ago. 15 years ago. It's insane that the longevity that some of these guys have. Joey Bosa the same, man. They were. I was watching the Bills preseason game, and they were talking about him and saying, yeah, he graduated from Ohio State in 2016. And I'm like, damn, we were in Kev, we were in college. Were you his teammate?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to block him.
Right. The guy I thought was thinking of was Kirk Coleman, by the way. And he was drafted only a year earlier than Cam Hayward, and he has been out of the league since 2019. So that just shows the longevity of Cam Hayward, especially the position where that doesn't. That's
it.
Yeah, that's a position that puts a wear and tear on your body like no other. So I'm impressed that he's able to keep up with it.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. There's a handful of other guys that are obviously making an impact or trying to, at least. Seth McLaughlin, he's with the Cincinnati Bengals. He was undrafted. He went undrafted. Am I right in that? Or he was late, fifth, sixth round pick?
I think he was a late.
He might have been a late round pick. Josh Fryer certainly was an undrafted free agent. He went to the Arizona Cardinals, so he joins Marvin Harrison and Cody Simon out in Arizona. Just kind of across the board there. Denzel Burke's also out there, so it's Arizona, kind of like Ohio State West, if you will. So a number of guys all throughout the league, and you hit on a lot of them. Tyleek and Ty as well, making big plays, trying to get their work in early on in training camp and in preseason here. So no surprise to anybody, but the Buckeyes have kind of taken the league a little bit by storm. TreVeyon Henderson's the one, man. We're not even going to talk about it from a Browns perspective because they went with Quinshon Judkins. Obviously, that story is still in the balance with his situation, but TreVeyon is electric every time he touches the football. He is Mr. Big Play, and he does everything right. He pass protects. He can break any play for a touchdown. He's special to watch, man. And that kick return on whatever night that was, Saturday or Friday night, was like, yeah, of course, Travion gets the ball, takes it to the crib, and outruns everybody by his closest guy was like 15 yards away. It was pretty special stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's a ball player. That's the only way to put it. He's a gamer. He knows what he's doing. He's a professional already, and he's been in the league for 5 months. Like, that's just not even, actually. But, I mean, I'm most excited to watch. You know, Donovan Jackson is going to have a lot of eyes on him, especially the eyes of Minnesota, because they didn't protect super well towards the end of the year last year. So it'll be interesting to watch him. The Cardinals are basically doing what the Eagles are doing with Georgia, but with Ohio State, which I think is a smart move. I mean, why not? Because Howie Roseman talked about in an interview this week that cohesion on a defensive side of the ball is hard to obtain. And if you can get guys that have played together before, it makes it a lot easier for the team. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Cardinals decide to do anything with their season. But with all these Ohio State players stacking up, they probably need a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Just me. But they also probably need another running back, but who knows? They have the receiving core.
Yeah.
They're starting to build out an offensive line, and they're starting to really solidify that defense. It'll be interesting to see how the Buckeyes play down there on that terrible, terrible turf.
Oh, is it bad? How bad is it?
Terrible. It's like playing football on a putting green.
Oh, man. Well, it's so sick that you got to play on it for sure. But definitely hear you there. And yeah, it's just really cool, especially early on in the preseason, as all these guys, whether they're low on the depth chart or high, they're getting their chances to play. And it's like we said, it's no surprise to anybody who is from Buckeye Nation, a Buckeye fan. You know, these guys were electric in college, and they are obviously proven to be a little bit of the same in the NFL, because you know we're starting to become a professional program in Columbus, and it's really cool to see. So to talk a little bit about the Buckeyes in the NFL. Now we want to whip it back to our team this year, and as we've done now for the past 3 weeks, we're taking a look at our next game here, week 4. Where Ohio State travels to Washington. Kev, before we get into our over-under segment here, this game is going to be really cool. Like I do think that, you know, it's one that it's two brands that haven't really ever matched up against each other, but also Washington's field is amazing. If anybody out there is trying to find a travel game, if you can spin this one, I would highly recommend it. The plan is that we're going to be out there. We're going to one of our team is going to be out there. So fingers crossed that it's one of us, because if it's me, I'd be freaking pumped, because that stadium looks ridiculous. And I think, Kev, just part of the good thing about the conference expansion, all that stuff, is getting these Pac-12 teams in here and making these new rivalries. And this one against Washington is going to be a brand new one for Buckeye fans everywhere.
No, it'll be cool. I think the last time we played Washington was it that Rose Bowl? I think it was the Rose Bowl.
Okay, so it was the Rose Bowl, 2019.
Yeah, 2019. I was on that team. It was.
How could you forget?
We played well. Well, my friends hate me for that, because we didn't cover, because we won the game in the first half and then just kind of turtled in the second half. But I mean, we won the game. That's all that matters for me. I don't care if their bets hit or not. But no, it's a cool. I mean, they're a different brand of football up there. They recruit heavily on that West Coast. They have people that don't want to be too homesick. They go up there. They obviously lost their head coach to Alabama, who probably wishes he stayed at Washington. But that Caleb DeBoer, I think is his name.
Caleb DeBoer, yep.
But it's just it, and then the atmosphere up there is awesome. It's got to be. It's so cool. They tailgate on boats. It's a college football all around the country has different atmospheres, from LSU to Maryland and DC to us to Oklahoma to Notre Dame. all the way out there. Like you got people that just show up to USC, and then you have people that show up in boats to Washington. It's really cool, and it shows the diversity of college football.
It's so cool, man. And kind of looking historically here, this will be the seventh matchup between the two. Ohio State's 5-1, currently on a 4-game win streak on the road in Husky Stadium in Seattle. Ohio State is 1-1. And that the lone loss came in 1994. They did a home and home in 93 and 94. That was the first. 93 was the first year Ohio State won that one, 21-12. And then they go to Washington that second year and lose 25-16. The last time that Ohio State was out in Seattle was 2007, 2008, and the Buckeyes won 33-14. Now, Kev, here's a couple names. Funny that we've been doing the show now for over a year, and in 2 back-to-back shows, we're going to mention Beanie Wells because this stat line, Todd Beckman finished 15 of 26 for 225 yards, 2 scores. Chris Beanie Wells led the way with 24 carries for 135 yards and a tud, and Brian Robisky had 4 catches for 107 yards and 1 touchdown. There's some that's a throwback, brother. That's a blast from the past.
Really is. I didn't even realize we played at Washington before. It's an interesting stat. But no, it's
Beanie Wells will rush for 135. Brian Hartline had 6 catches for 88 yards.
I was going to say he was on those Robisky teams.
Yeah, Dane Sanzenbacher had 1 catch for 7 yards. There's a couple of names flying around. Guess who led the team in? Here we go. James Laurinaitis had 2 interceptions.
I was going to say, yeah. That was the Laurinaitis era.
Jeez, oh man. Malcolm Jenkins had 1 pick too. That defense was freaking nuts, man.
I think Cam Hayward was on that defense. What year is this, 2008?
2007, 2008. So, yeah, Cam Hayward would have been on that team.
No. Cam Hayward, maybe he would have been. He might have been a freshman, but
yeah.
Kurt Coleman probably played on that team.
I don't have tackling stats here, but regardless. Those are some names, blast from the past for sure. Let's see if any recognizable names on the Washington side. Jake Locker was the quarterback. He threw for 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Been there, done that. Not a good day for him. Rushing the football, Locker led the way with 102 yards on 14 carries. So he definitely was a little sore coming out of that one. And no real recognizable names from their receiving corps, but pretty cool to kind of look back in the vault to see that game. Ohio State was ranked number 10 in the country after that win, 33-14. They actually trailed 7-3 at halftime and had a 14-point third quarter and a 16-point fourth quarter. So poured it on there in the second half. So, Kev, our over/under for this Washington game. It's up to me to make the call here, and we are going over/under 2.5 rushing touchdowns. We talked about Chris Beanie Wells having a handful of rushing touchdowns, a couple rushing touchdowns last time they were out there. We talked about the running back room on Tuesday's show, so we have a good idea of what that room's going to be. What do you think? Over/under 2.5 rushing touchdowns against the Washington Huskies.
Oh boy, usually you pick. This is how this goes. You're putting it on me.
You pick this one. I'm giving you the out.
2.5 is tough. Because I think we'll be passing more against them because they usually have some beefy inside linemen. I'll take the under on 2.5 rushing.
Taking the under. Kevin's got the Buckeyes throwing the ball all around the park. So that means I'm on the over. That's James Peoples making some big runs. That's C.J. Donaldson getting down and dirty at the bottom of at the low red area and punching that thing into the end zone. Or Lincoln Keenholz and Julian Sayin running the ball across the goal line is what I've got. Over 2.5 rushing touchdowns. So we'll keep track of it all as the year progresses. But appreciate everyone jumping in and hanging out with us today here on the Ohio State Buckeyes on SI YouTube channel. If you've made it this far in the video, certainly appreciate the support. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Make sure you're liking our videos. Drop a comment in there. Let us know what you think. And we're getting excited for some football here in just a couple of weeks. So definitely getting fired up about that. And yeah, appreciate everybody jumping in. We're going to head out of here on that. For my partner, Kevin Woidke, I'm Anthony Moeglin. Thanks for hanging out with us today. The Ohio State Buckeyes on SI YouTube channel.